I guarantee 99% of people are using ChatGPT wrong. If you want AI to be operating like the top 1%, you need to know these 5 important details. By the way, I'm Josh O'Sullivan. I've built and scaled my own AI company. I've worked with thousands of people, spent over $200,000 learning and building this stuff, so you don't have to. Let's get into the meat, veg, and potatoes. So ChatGPT, we all probably speak to it like a Google search engine, but the reality is ChatGPT for you can be anything that you want it to be, as long as you know how to speak to it. The important thing to note here is it's not just this little text field like you would normally operate with Google. You've got this funky little monkey down the bottom left, and this funky thing has a personalization option. So what you're gonna do is come down to that bottom left hand corner, go into this personalization section. And what you'll see here is general, notifications, personalization, connectors, data controls, all that funky jazz. What we want to do first, before we even get started to personalize ChatGPT, we want to come down to data controls. You can see for me just here, it's off. It's automatically off for me. I'm on a Teams plan. So what you want to do is just turn that thing off. At the moment, ChatGPT is probably training on all your information. So if you flick that bad boy off, ChatGPT is not be able to get access to any of that stuff. Once that's done, you're off to the races. We'll come back into our personalization section. So what you want to do is make sure that this toggle up in the top right hand corner is flicked on. That's going to allow you to customize it to however you want to with your instructions. So in these instructions section, you can very easily just use what they have there, which is like chatty, witty, straight shooting, all that jazz, but it's not really going to give you exactly what you need. So what we want to try and think about in this example for yourselves is, who are you? What do you do day to day? How do you operate? What kind of job do you have? And how do we want ChatGPT to speak to you? Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I want ChatGPT to know who I am at the core. And what that comes with is you can turn that into some of the smartest, most powerful people that have ever walked planet Earth, if you know how to. And what I've done, I've put together something for you guys. What this is a master prompt. So a master prompt, if you want to think of that, sort of like you're controlling and you're pulling the strings of ChatGPT. You can tell it you want to be a PhD as a doctor. You can tell it you want it to be a PhD in whatever field that you want to. And how we do that with this master prompt is we grab the information about you, your company, if you've got a company, your job, if you have a job, the kind of market that you work in. So if you've got competitors, or if you're building a sales team, if you're building a business, or maybe you're just working in corporate and you want it to help you to be better at your job. You grab that information, grab all these details, and I'm going to put that in the description down below. This helps ChatGPT to know who you are, what you do, how you operate, where you're from. So we're going to grab these details here. Now, with ChatGPT, it's very easy to just tell it and type it and put all that information in there. A funky feature it's got is inside of our personalization section, you can actually control the memories. So if we go into here, you can see all the memories that it's got, all the information that it's been saving about you. Now we've turned off the data control, so now it's not going to have access to any of that information. But here is where you can use some of that context. And context engineering, simply put, it's using the context, the information, the stored file of the conversation that it's had with you. And so using that stuff to bring into every single chat that you have with it. So you want to turn off any one of those or delete any one of those sections in there. That's going to help you then to have a more personalized experience with ChatGPT. So we're going to use what's already in the memory to help us to personalize this master prompt that you guys are going to get. So we can just copy and paste that inside of here. So we copy, come into ChatGPT, we're just going to paste that. Now, with this template, with this prompt, I want AI to do the work for me. It's one thing that AI is good at. It can do a lot of things if you can tell it to. And part of that comes with you knowing how to tell it what to do. You can skip all the steps of having to speak to it or type to it, and all we're going to do is come up to a pretty wicked site called Prompt Cowboy. And Prompt Cowboy is going to help us to best provide that instruction to ChatGPT. So in here, I'm going to write a prompt, it's going to give us an even better prompt. We're just going to use one sentence. With that one sentence, it's then going to improve this master prompt for us and tell ChatGPT to take the information that we have already existing inside of those memories and give us an even better prompt to fill it out for us. So I want to create a prompt that is going to use the customization and personalization features inside of ChatGPT, and it's going to help us to then best give us a performing and high-performing ChatGPT personalized second brain of our business or of our everyday life. I want it to take all the memories from previous discussions, use those memories from previous discussions, and use that to create the best possible prompt for ChatGPT, the instructions breaking down who I am, where I'm from. I'm going to give you that master prompt below and turn that into an even better prompt. So that's a highly contextual prompt. That's something that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't be doing at the moment, is giving it this level of detail and information. And then all we do down below is we just paste in that master prompt. You've got an option now. You can select from standard prompt or custom prompt reasoning. Don't get too funky with it. We're just going to choose standard. That's what we're looking for. And you can see over here, you've got improve your prompt section. This is where you can add additional details, context, information, maybe download a PDF and you take the text from that section. You can provide further examples inside of here. Let's just keep it simple. We'll take what it's already got and we're going to copy this back into ChatGPT over here. That's going to allow us to take a ChatGPT to the next level. So you can see the level of detail from just such a small sort of prompt here that I gave it. And now what we have is a highly contextual master prompt that it's then elaborated on in greater detail. So we copy that, paste that into ChatGPT. Now you probably find at this point, what I'm doing is I'm using AI to make AI do the work for us. So part of this is like learning how to use AI to do more of the work for us, even the little work. So with this prompt that we have now, what it's going to output is a lot of information inside of the personalization section. It's not going to allow us to put all of that information, so we're going to break it down. So it says here, you are an AI assistant designed to function as a personalized second brain for professionals and their business. If you're not a professional, just change around some of the details there at the start. So we're just going to hit play on that section, just with this little arrow. And that's going to give us a lot of information about who I am, where I'm from, do AI systems, founder, previous context from past conversations. So we use this stuff just here, strengths, weaknesses, responsibilities, and we're going to have that be added into this section here. So we've got custom instructions, that's what we tell with ChatGPT. Down here, we've got occupation information, more about you. Each of these sections, we're going to jump into there. So let's take my name, let's take my role, let's take my responsibilities, my strengths, my weaknesses, and plop that in with my personal profile. So we'll copy that, come into personalization, and you see it says occupation and more about you, so you can take that more about you and just paste it inside of there. And if this is the first time, you can just paste that and we can test it straight away, and you can see it's going to know a lot of information about you. You can skip all this stuff and you can go to something like LinkedIn. LinkedIn allows you to download a PDF, and that PDF will give you a lot of context as to who you are, what you do, where you're from, the kind of job that you operate in. And we're just going to drop that in ChatGPT to give it even more context as to who you are. So rather than copying all this stuff, let's add even more information inside of there. Let's go to my downloads and I just drop that file in there. It's going to download that PDF and that information, and it's going to improve this initial prompt so that the brain has all the information. Maybe I've got accreditations, qualifications, a bunch of skills that I want it to know that I can do. And I drop that in, and I'm just going to say, use this PDF and all the information inside of there, extract that information from the PDF and use it to improve my existing prompt that I've got for ChatGPT. And from there, there's another sneaky little tip I'll give you guys. You can take a screenshot from this section here, and that's going to allow you to get a nice image of this section and it can fill it out for you on your behalf. So I'm going to give it another second prompt down below. Using the second image inside of here, I want you to read the image and use the information from the PDF uploaded and the previous information I provided for the master prompt. I want you to create custom instructions for ChatGPT. In addition, I want you to provide instructions from all the previous details from my PDF about who I am, what I do, how I operate to create the second brain. So it's going to use both images. It's going to read the first image. It's going to process the information from the PDF. It's going to use my prompt now as information so that it can then create a highly contextualized prompt that we can use for custom instructions. That's going to help us to have AI, ChatGPT, rather than just showing up and it probably speaks to you, spits out stuff that you have no idea what it's talking about, no context as to who you are. This will give you a well purring and well-oiled machine. So with the final output here for the custom instruction, I'd copy this section, paste it inside of this bad boy in the custom instruction section. My nickname, I don't really want one. If you want one, go for it, but every single thing that it says back to you after this point, it's going to say that nickname. So just choose wisely with what you're going to be doing. So for me, I'll put Josh just as a starting point. Now, occupation, AI, company, that could be enough, but I want to put all the credentials and all that sort of jazz in there. So I'm just going to click save. Otherwise, you're going to lose all that stuff that you just did. So with my occupation, you scroll up. We'll just grab what I do, the kind of companies I run, information about that for you guys. Might be your job, it might be your companies, it might be your day job, it might be your side hustle that you wanted to know about. And we can plop that inside of there. And all this information for the more about you, we're going to grab from down here. So this is going to be tone of voice, it's going to be strengths, weaknesses, it's going to be all this stuff. We grab all this information for background and we can copy and paste it inside of there. So we scroll down, more about you, paste, and play around with these custom instructions, you know. If you want it to be highly contextualized, or maybe you want it to be Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, maybe Mark Zuckerberg, maybe you idolize the way that Alex Hormozi writes marketing copy. You can tell it to act as Alex Hormozi, you can tell it to act as Steve Jobs, or a combination of all those people all at the same time. So we'll save these to the memory. Now, you scroll down, just down here, you've got advanced settings. So you've got web search, you've got code, you've got canvas, you've got advanced voice. If you click all these off, it's not going to use the internet. It's not going to be able to interpret or read any code or any information there. And canvas, which is sort of like creating a PDF inside of ChatGPT, which if you hang around for future sessions, I'll be able to take you through what that looks like and how to use every single aspect of ChatGPT's features. For right now, let's just click all those bad boys on. And we'll scroll down and just click save, provided it does that. It's going to save automatically because we have the toggles. And I'm going to restart a new chat. So now if I say, who am I? What do I do? Where am I from? How are you supposed to operate on my behalf? And give me some overview details about me personally. So you can see it's now got Josh in this section for the nickname. If you want to edit it, it's going to bring you back to this section where you can then choose to edit that feature there. So I'm just going to press enter and you'll see it'll be able to give us a really good output. And what you'll find in every single conversation now, it'll reference this information that you tell it. So for me, I personally, every week, I will then change this custom instruction. I will go through the memory, make sure it doesn't hang on to any other memories that I don't want it to have, so that every single time I turn up, it's not going to then what they call hallucinate, which is make anything up, which AI is pretty good at. So you can see it now, it knows a lot of stuff. Just from me saying this, it knows a lot of stuff about what I'm doing. So you might be a student, you're studying, maybe you're studying a new topic, a new subject. What this can do now for us is give us a lot of information to AI, and we can have that curate any output specifically to you and your needs. So try it out, guys. Have a squiz. Down below, you're going to see inside of the description, there's going to be these giveaways. One of those is exactly how to do this step by step. And there's a few extra funky, saucy bits at the very end. You also have this master prompt framework. So you'll be able to use both of those to go wild. Go nuts. I'll see you on the next one.